Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the 7th episode now for the Walking Dead television series of Season 9. This one is called Stradivarius. And spoiler warning, of course, as usual, if you guys are not caught up for The Walking Dead, which is up to Season 9, Episode 6. So Episode 7 now, the second last episode we have for the first half of The Walking Dead Season 9 is called Stradivarius. And this one is actually directed by Michael Cudlitz, who of course played Abraham in the Walking Dead television series. So that's really cool to see, Abraham come back and direct this episode for us. Is pretty neat. I'm happy that Michael Cudlitz is still involved with Walking Dead. I think he goes to a lot of those Walker Stalker cons and cruises and does autographs and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of cool to see that he's still helping out with the series, promoting the series, and is now working as a director on the series, even though his time in the series has long since passed as Abraham since the Season 7 premiere. And damn, dude, this is Season 9 now, so it's been it's hard to believe it's been over 2 years since that big episode. So this one called Stradivarius, which is like a family name that made cellos and different string instruments and stuff like that out of Italy. You can look it up if you want to see. So that's the name of the episode. So maybe something sad or something like that. That's what a lot of us had thought. But it turns out, of course, with Rick leaving and everything that happened in episode 5. So the description for this episode reads, Carol seeks out an old friend, living alone in the wilderness, teeming with walkers. Survivors make the perilous trek to a new home. So the first part, of course, referring to Carol going to see Daryl with Henry. So Henry didn't know, it sounds like, that he was going to be visiting Daryl. Can I say Uncle Daryl or something? I don't know. So, that's kind of fun. And as we're kind of seeing more and more with Daryl, he's got a dog, so that's fun. And maybe feeling guilty, of course. It's been 6 years in their time. But for us, just recently, maybe blaming himself for what happened to Rick, having trouble dealing with the guilt, not wanting to be around people. Daryl was always somewhat of an outdoor cat, right? Of a lone wolf or dog, as as they've called him, right? Kind of like Rick's attack dog type of deal, which is kind of fun, So it's kind of a cool rub for Daryl, I think, in terms of what we're seeing them do. Again, I've said many times I've always viewed Daryl as sort of the Wolverine of The Walking Dead, and there are a lot of similarities between the characters. Daryl is super cool, and now he's got himself a dog, which you can see in the sneak peek. So he's like living on his own. Fishing, basically, catching his own food, survivalist, just on the land. It looks like he doesn't really have like a house or a cabin or anything like that. He's just basically living outside, living on the water type of deal. And man, it's it's kind of funny to see him in this state. But I guess it makes sense if he blames himself for what happened to Rick, that he would be kind of just wanting to be alone and wanting not to have anybody really around. I'm happy to see that Carol is coming to visit him with Henry, because otherwise, he probably doesn't get much interaction with people at all. He probably sees maybe more walkers than he even does see people. So that's kind of cool stuff. So I'm happy to at least see some more concentration with Daryl again. Even though we did see him in episode 6, it didn't feel like we saw much of him, because we just saw like a quick little clip of him sort of fishing and killing a walker with a like a long a stick or branch type of deal. Then we have the promo, which is the next on for Stradivarius. You've got Rosita, who's running and looks hurt, and she's kind of running up next to a tree. And we don't see Eugene there. We see a flare go off, so maybe they're signaling for help. And you've got Jesus and Aaron, who possibly see it. Will the Whisperers see it as well and kind of head towards its location or not? Hard to say. Their vision generally is probably not as good as some of the others, because they're wearing their skins and stuff like that, and they want to kind of blend in with the walkers. So they're probably not going to be doing too much behavior like looking up or looking around or, doing stuff that's different from the walkers. They sort of, at least based on the comic book series, when we knew of them in the comics, they kind of blend right into the point where they sort of almost start to kind of act like walkers too. well, they will whisper and stuff like that, but for the most part, they're just kind of like, they're playing the part, they're blending in, so that's kind of what they do. So we'll see. So I'm expecting or predicting that Rosita and Eugene will probably get out of there. I don't think we'll see the death of either one right now. I don't think it's necessary, and at the same time, there's probably lots of stuff coming up with the whispers, and I'm sure there will be some deaths coming up. So you can pretty much guarantee that. So we have that going on with them being chased or whatever. Probably get away and it'll be okay. Maybe Jesus and Aaron will help them out. And we did see kind of the promotion in after episode 5 where Jesus and Aaron are watching a group of walkers and they're kind of just hanging out and like walking around in a circle, this kind of stuff in one location. And they've never seen them act like that before. So it's quite a bit different. So again, the slow introduction of the Whispers here and Magna and her group with Michonne and Saddeq as they head towards the hilltop, which should be interesting because we're not sure who's leading the hilltop right now. We just don't know. We're to assume that Maggie has left, and we're just not like, I don't know. During the time skip, I would think Maggie would have gone, but I don't know. Have we seen all the scenes already with Lauren Cohen in the series? Is she already gone, or is there one more coming up or something, or one more episode or something? I have no idea right now, right? It's really tricky to say. Maybe she's in one more episode and then she like 7 or 8 and then we see her again and then she says goodbye and leaves or something to the Commonwealth. I don't know. It hasn't been explained yet for Maggie, but we know she's either gone for good already, or maybe we see her in one more episode, this episode coming up, or episode 8, and then that might be it for her. So we'll see. You guys can leave your predictions below on whether or not you think we will even see Maggie at all, or if someone else is actually leading the hilltop at this time. Let me know what you guys think. Then we have, Michonne getting ready to engage against someone, so she's kind of running through. Has she somehow seen the flare, and have they gone off to try to help, Rosita and Eugene, or what's going on with that? We'll have to wait and see. The description, is just basically, the first part about Carol and visiting Daryl, and then the other part about the travel between the Alexandria and the hilltop for Michonne and the new group with Saddeq and Magna and all the rest. So that's pretty much it for my predictions. I'm hoping we see more of the Whispers. I'm sure we'll get a little bit more. But I feel like the show is most of what it's doing right now is it's kind of reestablishing itself in its new version and catching us up with after the time skip. What's happened to these other characters? What's life been like for Daryl? What's going on at the hilltop? Who's still in charge there? Is it still Maggie or is it somebody else? Did she leave? Some questions to be answered. Will we get to see more of the Whispers soon? I hope so, because I think they're just such awesome villains. And, what will the whole thing, how will people feel about The Walking Dead now with our first Rickless episode or episode after Rick leaving being, tonight. And then, of course, going forward, obviously, not going to be returning. So the show kind of finding its center again, I feel like. And so far, I'm having trouble kind of feeling like it's there. So far, it kind of feels like they're doing this council type of thing where it's like a ensemble type of deal. And so far, I'm not sure how well that's kind of fitting. We'll have to see how much people like that. And it's kind of tricky to take it from, if there's any forefront character right now so far, I'd say it's probably Michonne from what we're seeing, although you can make a case for Carol and some of the others too. But I almost feel like right now, Michonne's probably the standout of everybody. So that's it for my predictions for the episode coming up. Should be a pretty good one, but I'm not expecting anything too crazy because, again, they're just starting a new story and a new section of The Walking Dead, and we already got all those crazy episodes with 4 and 5 and everything we just saw in the first 5 episodes with the whole change. It's just crazy how much the series has changed in such a short period of time. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below and send me your questions for the Q&As for this week. First one will be for tomorrow. We'll be discussing Rashon's baby, possibly. We'll discuss about that, give our thoughts on that. And if you like this video, thumb it up below, share favorite, and subscribe at the bottom left. And thank all of you guys for all your support. And thank you for subscribing all these years. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.